Oh, hi there, it's Linda here from Just for Tummies, and I do hope you're keeping well. So, for those of you who know me, know how passionate I feel about probiotics, and the fact that if it was left to me, if I was running the country, I'd be putting probiotics into the water supply so that everyone in the country would be getting a daily dose of these fantastic microorganisms. But I'm not in charge of the country, and I can't see probiotics being added to the water supply anytime soon. But what you can do, you can take probiotics, well, in lots of different forms, really. You can eat probiotic-rich foods like yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, kombucha. Many different ways of getting probiotics into your system. But you can also, if you don't like the taste of the aforementioned, you can also take probiotics in capsule form, like this, my live bacteria probiotic capsules. And I developed these along with the rest of the range, the Just for Tummies range, about 8 years ago now. And that's what they look like, a little capsule. If you're not very good at swallowing capsules, though, you can open this capsule and you can sprinkle this magic powder into a cold drink, or mix it into yogurt, ice cream, on cereal, or on any cold food. Not hot food, for obvious reasons. Hot food and hot drinks would kill some of the bacteria. So when would you need to take a probiotic? Well, personally, I believe in probiotics from the cradle to the grave. So, for example, if you're a woman and you're pregnant, maybe you get an infection and you have to take antibiotics, then I would certainly recommend that not just you take probiotics afterwards, but when your baby is born, that you put your baby on an infant probiotic supplement, because there's no doubt that your baby, when she was in the womb and you were taking those antibiotics, your baby would have had a dose of those antibiotics too. We know that antibiotics do cross from the mother, the expectant mother, to the baby via the umbilical cord and the placenta. When else would you take a probiotic? Well, of course, after you've taken a course of any antibiotics, any broad spectrum antibiotics anyway, you would want to replenish, recolonize your gut with friendly strains, because we do know that the more courses of antibiotics you have, the more at risk you are from developing a digestive or gut issue like irritable bowel syndrome, bloating, constipation, but acid reflux too, and inflammatory bowel diseases. Antibiotics, certainly lots of courses of antibiotics can increase your risk of getting Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. So I would always recommend that you take a 3-month course of probiotics after any course of broad spectrum antibiotics, and just one a day, one before breakfast and one before bed, just with a little water. I would also recommend that you take probiotics if you suffer with diverticular disease and you get those awful, nasty, debilitating and painful diverticulitis flare-ups. Again, it would be the same protocol, just twice daily, before breakfast and before bed. Food intolerances. Let's cover food intolerances a little bit. So I get contacted a lot by people who suffer with food intolerances, and their diet is becoming more and more limited as they begin to stop eating certain foods, because these foods cause excess gas, cramps and bloating. But why is this happening? When I dig a little bit deeper with them and I ask certain searching questions, it often transpires that they never had food intolerances before, but since they had a course of antibiotics, they've developed food intolerances. Now, why would this happen? Well, because for your digestive system, for your gut in particular, to properly digest food and absorb, extract nutrients from your food, you need to have trillions and trillions of friendly gut bacteria. Now, if you've taken broad spectrum antibiotics, we know that they decimate the levels of bacteria in your gut, and this can predispose you to developing food intolerances and other digestive and gut symptoms that I've just recently mentioned. So anyone that suffers with food intolerances, I get them to take a 3-month course of my live bacteria probiotics, and I may also put them on a course of our natural digestive enzymes too, one just before lunch and one just before dinner. Again, acid reflux. Why would I recommend a probiotic to help reduce the effects of acid reflux? Because very often, again, I've been contacted by people over the years, and when I was in clinical practice as well, I found that for many people, their acid reflux developed after they'd had a course or two of antibiotics. So antibiotics can affect the lining of your stomach too. So by repopulating and recolonizing with probiotics, this can help reduce acid reflux. And we know that there are more studies and more research than you can shake a stick at, showing that probiotics can moderate the immune system. And can and obviously, if you have got a healthier, more resilient immune system, then you're going to be less prone to infections wherever they may be in the body. So let's touch a little bit on urinary tract infections. I'm contacted a lot by women, especially women of menopausal age and beyond postmenopausal, who suffer with recurring urinary tract infections. So you get a UTI, don't you? You put on a course of broad spectrum antibiotics. You're fine for a while, no symptoms, but then a few weeks later, you get another UTI. You put on another course of antibiotics, and so on and on it goes. And I've come across women who, because they've had so many UTIs and so many courses of antibiotics, they've developed antibiotic resistance. And nobody wants that, do they? So on the back of that, when I was still in clinical practice, I developed another probiotic specifically for women who do suffer with urinary tract infections, and it's behind me there in my cabinet. It's my For Women probiotic capsules. But not only did I put a unique strain of friendly bacteria in those capsules called Lactobacilli reuteri, that's been proven to help reduce not just urinary tract infections, but thrush and bacterial vaginosis. But I also put in 2 extra strains of friendly bacteria that also help to support digestive, gut health, and the immune system. So it's a kind of 3-in-1 probiotic. And the protocol is the same. I would recommend 1 before breakfast and 1 before bed with a little water. So anywhere else where you might want to consider taking probiotics? Well, after you've had a gut infection like food poisoning, of course, the diarrhea, okay, that you get with food poisoning will be washing out lots of your friendly gut bacteria. But not just that, if you still have the pathogen, the parasite in your gut, and it's grumbling, and this can happen for years actually. I've spoken to people who had food poisoning many years ago, and they eventually were diagnosed with IBS. I mean, I could talk about that in greater length, but food poisoning is the #1 cause of an increased risk of developing IBS. So it's very important if you've had food poisoning that you take our activated charcoal capsules immediately to help ensure that that parasite is absorbed and excreted out of your body with your stool. And then you need to put yourself on a course of our live bacteria probiotic capsules to replenish and recolonize your gut with friendly strains of bacteria, but at the same time helping again to support your immune system after such an infection. If you're taking the birth control pill that affects the gut microbiome, you may want to consider taking a probiotic. And likewise, if you are going through the menopause, ladies, the drop in estrogen affects the digestive system. Common symptoms are acid reflux, bloating, and constipation. So taking a live bacteria capsule twice daily can go a long way towards rebalancing your gut microbiome. But if you are struggling with digestive issues as a result of going through the menopause, then do contact me, because you may also benefit from taking a digestive enzymes tablet just before food, especially if you get bloated after meals. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there, but that's just a few of the circumstances where I may recommend taking a probiotic supplement. If you've got any queries, I'm not sure where you're watching this video. If it's in an email from us, reply to this email. If you're watching this on social media, then just send us a message and we'll get back to you. Hope that helps, and thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.